Good day, as you know I am Kaylin, and today we're going to be discussing rolling shifts. Now what we're going to use in our example is we've got an employee that could work 2 day shifts, 2 days day shift, 2 days night shift, and then 2 days off, and then he would start that pattern again. So basically the rolling shift is when you've got a particular pattern that the employee might work, and this would keep repeating. Now I'm going to show you an easy way to determine how many roll days you need to set up in a shift in order for that pattern to start over correctly. Now you would generally think in our example that we're using today that it would be 6 days, because then that pattern would start over again, but I'm going to show you why it isn't the case. So the easiest way to determine how many roll days you need is if you do a little exercise in Excel. What I've done is I have gone and put in Monday through to Sunday, and I've just dragged that through quite a way down. I've also then in the second column I have gone and put in my pattern of my shift, my 2 days day shift, 2 days night shift, and 2 days off shift. Now what happens if you make this rolling shift only 6 days long? You're going to see we've got our Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday there, but on the Sunday it's going to start with a day shift again. Now if we simply leave it 6 days and it comes to this, come Sunday, if he works, it's going to kick over to the first shift, which theoretically the shift is correct, it's a day shift. But if we take a look at what day it's showing it as a Monday. So the Sunday is going to appear as a Monday, if that makes any sense. Okay, so what we need to do is we need this shift pattern to be repeated and basically end off with our last 2 days being the off shift, and it also needs to end when our pay week ends, which in this case is a Sunday, because we're running from a Monday through to a Sunday. So in this case then what we're looking for is we need the Saturday to be an off shift, and we need the Sunday to be an off shift. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all these shifts that I've got in this pattern, and I'm going to start dragging it down until I get to Saturday. Let's see what shift is going to come there. We've got a day shift, so immediately I know that this is not going to be enough rolling days because I needed it to be on an off shift. So let's carry on to the next one. Let's see, Saturday again got a day shift, and Sunday we've got a night shift. So let's move on over to the next week again, keep dragging it. Saturday again got a night shift, that's not what we need. Sunday's a night shift, let's carry on. Saturday's night shift, again it's not going to be correct. Sunday is a off shift, so Sunday is off shift, but our Saturday was a night shift, which means our pattern is not quite ending off correctly. So let's carry on a little bit longer. Let's see, Saturday, yeah, we've got an off shift on Saturday, and Sunday we've got an off shift, so that seems to be correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend this slightly longer. Let's just go till there, and let's see, so there we've got a Saturday, we've got an off shift, Sunday we've got an off shift, and here we start our pattern of day, day, night, night, and off, off again. And again we can now see that Monday is matching the day shift, Tuesday is the day shift, Wednesdays. So this to me is indicating that this pattern is starting to repeat itself from the top there. So I know if I delete this, because this is a duplicate, this is repeating itself here, I know that after 42 days I need this pattern to start over again. Okay, so that's an easy way to do that. So let's move on over to our configuration module and let's set this up. So we've got our payroll shifts. We're going to click on add. We're going to put in a code and a shift name. It's just, you can obviously call this whatever you would like. Next, we're going to leave our payroll length still 7 days because we're paying the guys on a weekly basis. It's just his cycle that is extending over 42 days. So we've got a pay length. Our rolling shift cycle, this is where we're going to set this to 42 days. Okay, we just click on next. Your start date would be the same as any other shift start date, so you're going to go and specify what that may be. I'm simply going to choose the 5th of January. I'm not going to go too far back. I'm also not too phased about the exact date that it starts on because I'm paying a weekly shift. All I need to worry about is that it starts on a Monday because my week starts on a Monday. Obviously, if you've got a monthly shift and it starts on the 1st, for argument's sake, you need to ensure that you find a month where the 1st actually starts on a Monday. Okay, so I'm not too phased, going to select the 5th of Jan there. Let's click next. Not going to set up any access time zones, not going to set up any limit codes, and not going to set up any macro scripts either. We're going to just keep this a basic shift. Click on next, click on finish, and there we've got our payroll shift. So now we need to obviously go and add in the detail lines at the bottom. I'm going to then click on add because we know that the first 2 days that we're going to do is a day shift. So let's go and put this in. Sorry, not day, this has got to be Monday and Tuesday. And let's go and select our day shift. There you go. And now, why did I not simply just go and add in 42 lines there? I'll show you why. Let's add the next one. Now remember that our night shift starts at 1200 hours. It doesn't start at 0 hours, which means that our night shift is actually moved on to midday. So where if you selected a day shift here now, it would start at 0 hours. Your night shift is actually starting at 1200 hours. So let me show you what this is going to look like if you leave this as is. So let's put in the Wednesday. Let's go and select our night shift. I'm simply just using night shifts and day shifts that are already configured in this. You would obviously go and set up the specific ones you want. Now, like I said, if you go and take a look at the night shift now, you'll see that it's actually, you can't see, I know that this is 12 hours later, but you can see that there's a gap there. This is because your night shift is only starting at 1200 hours. Okay, so if you had another night shift, you could easily see, if we just click on over to our night shift, you'll see that on the Wednesday, it starts at 6000 hours. So that's obviously 12 hours later than what your normal day shift would start. If you don't have a night shift, you're going to obviously have to take that day shift there and simply add in on 12 hours. If we change it, you'll immediately see that our night shift now falls in line. With where our day ends and starts there. What you will see, however, is there's now a gap on Tuesday. So now what we need to do here is to extend the day shift. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and create a duplicate of the 01 shift, and we're going to just extend this to 3600 because that's obviously when it ends. 3600 is midday the next day. So I've already gone and configured that. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So I've taken the shift, I've copied it, just made it 01A, and I've simply gone and extended that last line till 3600, and I've changed my schedule to also end at 3600. So now we can go back to our payroll and let's go and select this extended line. There you go, and we'll see everything falls nicely in line there. So let's go and add in our second night shift now, which is a Thursday, and then after our night shift we're moving over to a day shift. So let's go and add in that, let's say Friday, and let's go and put in our day shift. Now again, you're seeing some overlapping happening here, and our day shift isn't falling in line. Our day shift now starts on 0 hours, not 1200 hours, and you've simply gone and added 24 hours from the last night shift that's been here. So just like we moved this 12 hours forward, we need to move this 12 hours backwards again. So that's going to be 96. We're going to move that back. Now you will see that there is still a little bit of an overlap here between the night shift and the day off. Don't worry too much about that because the night shift guys might actually work in this case into the Friday, where they might actually clock out 1 o'clock in the morning or that. So you want that whole night shift to actually be available there for them to clock out there. And at least the Friday is a day off, so it's not like they're going to be clocking in there to cause any confusion. So then we can just add in another one again. Let's call this Saturday and put in our off shift there. And then your cycle's going to start over again. Now you've got a day shift here already. Your next one is going to be a day shift, so you don't have to stress too much. You can simply just make that 24 hours later, put in your day shift again, and all will be fine. Obviously when you're moving over to the night shift again, you're going to have that the longer day shift that we created there. So let's go and see this immediately. Now we know we're moving over to a night shift, so I'm going to go and select the longer one, which was 01A, and let's go and add another one. Remember, we need to move this 12 hours forward, which means it's now going to be 204 if my maths is correct here. Tuesday, and we'll carry on with a night shift. And so you carry on until you've got 42 lines in here. Now obviously, you're going to have to go and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up until 24. It's easier for you to go and add this as you go along, so that you know when you need to extend it and when you need to shorten that day. If you're going to simply go and add in 42 lines here, it could get slightly confusing with where are you now. You can at least see at the bottom whether it's falling in line or not. But I find this slightly easier to do it like this, and I can just carry on until I have 42 lines. And then obviously you can set up any other balancing or holiday rules that you need for that shift. But that's how easy it is. The most difficult thing is to determine how many rolling days you have, and that's not too difficult when you're using something like Excel. Or I simply use Excel because you can copy your pattern, and you can drag that down and it'll immediately copy everything that you need there. You can do it any other way that you have, but it's not that difficult setting up rolling shifts once you've got that worked out. It's like setting up any other shift there. So yes, I hope that you've at least learned something and that this has all made sense, and that you will join me next time. Goodbye.